Hey everyone, welcome to my first video for 2024. It's been quite a while since I posted, so I want to start getting back into it and trying to get something out pretty regular. So I'm going to cover what's been happening over about the last year and then what my plans are for this year. I'm calling it the year of focus because I've got a few projects specifically I want to get done, and I'm also going to limit the amount of things I'm trying to do. As far as growing things, I'm going to limit it to certain peppers, tomatoes, some herbs. Anyways, we'll get into that when I get to the garden. So the first big change over the last couple of years is we added this pool area to the back of the house. So as you can imagine, that was quite a project. One thing it involved was filling the pond in. So the pond is significantly smaller. And so now it's actually like a crescent shape. I'm probably gonna expand it just a little bit, but it's still pretty good sized. You can see right now it's in rough shape. You see this 4-inch pipe sticking there, and then there's another pipe on the other side. Basically, I'm walking along the edge of the pond here. I've got all these cattails that have grown up through it. But for idea of scale, it's about 12, 15 feet across at this point. And then down here, the other end, you see there's another pipe here. And these pipes are actually part of the pool area. So let me go up here. And what I had to do is set up some drains. It's a little hard to tell, but we're actually walking up a slope right now. So I had this curbing put in, and I did this rock area next to the pool, so that captures a lot of water. Plus I got a lot of runoff from the pool deck. So there's some drains. Like here's an example. This comes right off the deck itself. And then we've got the just the normal rain gutters from the house. So they drop right into that 4-inch pipe on both sides and dumps right into the pond. So that was a project in itself. Over here, remember the good old chicken coop? Well, it's vacant right now. So all of our chickens have passed on through natural or other means, primarily predators. I'm getting ready to tear this down, so I'm going to move it. It's been a good coop, but some of the issues, number one, it's too close to the side of this property. We've got a bit of a barrier here. That's a barrier. It's a kind of a wooded area between lots, and we get a lot of animals that come out of there. So a lot of possum, a lot of raccoons. They've been a constant problem. The other thing, the ground that the coop is on, it's just too low. So we get a lot of rain. It ends up holding water in there, with all the chicken poop and food and stuff. It just really turned that into like a hard pan. So I'm going to be tearing this down and building a new coop area. So it's not going away, it's just temporary. So I'm going to walk back over to the other side here. You can kind of get an idea of the slope here. Again, the video doesn't really show it that good, but the pool deck is probably 3 to 4 feet higher than where I'm walking now. So we had to raise that up quite a bit. The good news is that any kind of property flooding, really heavy rain, it's not going to go into the pool, which can be pretty gross. So here you are. So again, the 4-inch drain, I haven't cut that back yet because I'm going to shape the sides of the pond. Still a little undecided if I'm going to do like a concrete seawall. Leave it natural, sloped, not sure what just yet. But heading back here, I had an irrigation pump. So this is something I did last year. I expanded the concrete slab and then enclosed the irrigation pump, the tank, and then that is a sump that actually connects to the pond. So I can use this this well. So this is our irrigation well, and I can use that to keep the pond level constant. And it's also for the irrigation. So let's see, what do we got over here? Actually, let's go back this way. So as part of the pool project, we had some additional pavers put down. And that helped out with a couple future projects, actually. So we got this path here that goes from the driveway, it goes to the pool deck, and then it drops out here, which kind of leads to the rest of the property, right? So if you're coming up So here's our driveway. Might get a little sun in the camera, I'll try not to. So that just leads out and then down to the garden areas. And then over on this side, a little hard to tell, but you see that car in the middle. Added a little parking pad there. Actually, I'll walk over there. Back when I was selling some plants, this is where the plant sale area was, just right behind here. So I figure someday, if I get back into that, that could be a parking spot. And then over here, I could put up just a sale area, maybe a small pergola or something. It's a pretty good sized area here. So that's a future plan. We also thought about a possible little off-grid cabin in the back, and that could be an Airbnb. If that was the case, people could park there and then walk down around here and around to the back, and they wouldn't be disturbing us. But there's a reason I came this way. So we had this concrete curbing put in, which I really, really like. This has been great. So we're behind the workshop here, and then there's the carport. So this area had the curbing drawn out that way. So the plan is I'm going to take this this rock here and run it parallel to the curb, so we'll have like a 18-inch, 2-foot. I can get my finger in here. So like right in this area, you know, it'll follow along here, and I'll put some fence posts and a small fence, just like a 4-foot, just to delineate this area. And I'm going to put, this is going to be called the Zone 1 garden. So this will be like peppers, tomatoes, herbs. I kind of laid out the earth boxes already, just getting an idea. So the thought is that have all the herbs and stuff that we use a lot close to the house. They grow really good in the earth boxes. And it'd be convenient for myself and my wife when we're cooking to just come right out here. So what I need to do here, I'm going to run electrical from the shop underground here to the carport. So I need to do that first. And then I'll do that fence I talked about. So right along here, there will be a fence. And then in this area, haven't quite decided yet, but I think where the rows are going to be, I'm thinking I might put concrete down and maybe just do small rock, like a real small river rock as the walking area. So that way it absorbs water. It's nicer on the feet and a lot less maintenance. Okay, let's see what's next on the list. So I've had my well tested, both the irrigation and the house well. So we're not on city water. There's another wellhead right here. We've always kind of fought with water quality, and it turns out both wells are salty. So this is a shallow well. It's about 30 or 35 feet deep. And then the other one I showed you, it's an artesian well, which runs approximately 250 feet. But both of them are reading 1,000 parts per million of salt. So it's not considered salt water, but it is salty. And I think that's been causing not so much problems, but my plants aren't really thriving like they should be. So in the meantime, the short-term solution is I'm going to take these rain barrels, or these blue barrels here, and set up a rain catchment system. It's going to come off the workshop. So the workshop is around 1,200 square feet. It's already got gutters, and both gutters drop out the back side of it. So you can see one right here. And what I'm going to do is put the barrels along the back. So I've got 6 barrels right now. I think I'm going to go with maybe even 10 or 12. There's a lot of water that comes off this. Right now I have it goes through the that corrugated pipe, and then it pops out here somewhere. It's probably buried right now. But anyways, so I'll do the rain catchment, and I'm going to put them up high, either 3 or 4 feet, and then I'll just have it run a hose again along the this curbing here, and then just have it go to the earth boxes for filling them up. So the immediate solution is rainwater. If needed, I can add a small reverse osmosis to try to keep that topped off. And then the eventual goal is to get a reverse osmosis system for the whole house. So other than that, last year I developed an app, so like a phone app. I won't go into it here because it's more of a localized app for now, but I'll talk more about that as I take that national. And then one of my projects, I bought a laser last year. So this is a laser burner, cutter, etcher, Omtech. It's a beast, and it's sat here for a while. I finally got it going, and one of my goals is to take like pavers and etch in plant names. So I'm trying to make some permanent plant markers, and that's just one of many projects. I'm going to make gifts for friends. Look over here, you see my messy shop. For example, I've been making these puzzles. I actually sent one to my daughter, but these are just tests. Really easy to do. It etches it and then cuts it out, cuts out the puzzle. But yeah, just another project. Not here to talk about that. So let's talk about what's coming up this year. That's the main purpose of this video. So I already talked about the new area here. This is kind of my priority because my seedlings are doing pretty good. And what I've been doing is using reverse osmosis water from our kitchen sink for now. Trying not to use that salty water. Now we have a treatment system, but the only way to really get rid of salt is reverse osmosis. So this area right here, kind of give you a little idea where we are here. So again, looking across, there's the pool, the pond on the right, the old chicken coop. So this spot here is going to be the new chicken coop area, I believe. That's the plan right now. So I'm going to build a big run, and the run will be secured. So it'll be a large area. And then that way I don't have to worry about the coop, right? I'll put a coop inside of it, but the coop doesn't have to be really strong. And I already have power and water here. Okay, this I ran a long time ago. So I have not only power, but I have both well and house water. So I don't need to worry about that. And then out here, again, I have another drop. So I have well, house, and power. Now when I get the whole home reverse osmosis, that'll be handy for watering the plants. But so this is my current propagation area. And this has been here a while. I've done some videos in here. This has the shingles, if you remember that. They've worked out really well as a weed block. Now the plants are full of weeds, but you can see the shingles have been an excellent weed block in this area. So that's worked out really well. But this area is going to be fenced in with like a 4 foot, probably a 4 foot, just like a field fence. Might do something a little nicer, but I'm going to put a pergola in here and set the aquaponics back up. And I still have my old aquaponics system, but I'll probably have to rebuild it from scratch. I'll just walk over here. You can kind of see that's the system itself has been sitting. Wow, it's really windy today. But I kept all the media. It's not in this one, but there's media in these. It's hard to tell. It's in there. Take my word for it. And that's enough media for 3 beds. I'd like to set up 6. So that's my goal. And so the aquaponics will have the leafy greens, whatever else I'm not growing up in that zone 1. So I'll call this, you'll have the zone 1 stuff up there next to the carport. Then we'll have the chicken coop, and then we'll have this area. And I'll probably do a nice walkway as well. That way, elevate it slightly, so when we get a lot of rain, you're not slushing through soggy ground, like is the case now. Now here's where I started. I got the idea I need to do some more videos. I'm cleaning these earth boxes from last year, and what I want to do is use the system I've shown on other videos. Okay, so I've got these supports, and I've got these clips for the cover. So I wanted to show how well these have worked. Now I've already cut the plants out, so those are gone. But look at these clips. Okay, I've shown them before, but I mean these are a couple years old now. They're still very strong. They've held their shape. So I'm keeping those. So this system of covering and trellising or supporting, I mean, I just can't tell you how good this has worked. So the new area, I've got 16 earth boxes. They're all going to be using this system. Just worked out so well. All right. Now for plant propagation, because this area is going to be converted to the aquaponic. Now it's a big area, so I will still do propagation in here, but this will be more of the edibles. So it'll be the smaller stuff. It'll be any edible plants, but I have a lot of stuff that's not necessarily edible. So I've got, I got ferns, I got whatever these things are. A lot of this stuff I get from the take a plant, leave a plant shelf out front, which by the way is still going strong. It's working out very well. And I got a lot of really cool stuff. Now I'll do a full tour of this in another video, but you can kind of get an idea. There's a lot of stuff growing here. And actually, to be honest, I need to identify a lot of it too. I mean, I know what a lot of it is, but sometimes, these are pretty common plants, but they're not things I've really worked with in the past. But anyways, so this area I've talked about could someday be the small off-grid little house, tiny house, something like that. But in the meantime, I'll probably set up a little bit of a propagation area out here. And then in the back, there's been a change with the empty lot next to us. Now, if you haven't watched my previous videos, I'll tell you my property line goes back about 30 feet past my fence. And the reason I did that, previously, the land next to us was heavily wooded. There's a lot of deer, a lot of animals here. If I would have fenced off my property, they would have to jump my fence. They wouldn't have a way to migrate back and forth, because there's a ditch across the street from my house. And then the house behind me had a privacy fence going all the way to their canal. So I left this open. But this land next to me has sold and it's been cleared. So we don't really have a problem with the animals anymore. Now the rumor is, I don't know for sure, that this is going to be a pony rescue. I hope that's the case. That would be really cool. I think this land here is like 12 acres. Anyways, going back to my main point, I am now going to take my fence. Okay, so here, let's walk back here. We got this, so about 30 feet here. I'm going to take my fence all the way back to that privacy fence and reclaim this area. Now this area is pretty low, and there is a like a 5 foot, 3 foot, 5 foot. Anyways, it's a huge water pipe. So it's a utility easement. So I can't plant anything here that's valuable, but I can throw bananas and other stuff that won't be a problem. Also, because it's low, it gets wet, and they'll be fine with that. So I don't know if I'm going to get that project done this year. The primary projects are the garden, that zone 1 garden, and then the aquaponic area. And let me look at my list. That's really it for now. I plan on doing a spring walk around on the property. However, one last thing, I did say that this is the year of focusing. So what I need to do, there's just so much here. It's a lot to do, right? And the good news is I don't have to do anything, especially out here. I just have to keep it look nice, closer to the house. But what I am going to do is take these sections, and I'll call them islands. So like this is a banana circle. For example, I'll use this one. There's some bananas. So you can see it's isolated, right? Like an island. I'm going to take these and just focus on them one at a time, clean them up, see what's in there. There's so much stuff in here. So many things I've put in over the last few years. And it makes it interesting. Every time I walk out here, there's always something new to find. Here's star fruit. Just got done fruiting. Here's dragon fruit. There's a lot of stuff here. So I'm going to focus on island at a time. Probably start with the ones closest to the house or possibly closest to the road and just work my way back. And just clean them up, try to identify everything, try to get things labeled, get them documented. So if I do lose labels, I know what's there. And again, I will get a spring tour video. I'll be putting that together soon. Probably look for that in about a month from now. In the meantime, I'll do some little videos just showing progress on the other projects. So that's it for now. If you have any comments or anything you want to see more detail on, just leave me a note in the comments and see what I can do. All right, thanks for watching.